Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora.
Yes, sir.
How are
Morning.
you?
I'm good. You?
Well, it's not bad for a Monday.
Yeah. You get any grass cut?
Yesterday.
Oh, not yes.
I didn't sling
yes,
a
I-
blade yesterday.
Really?
He's slack.
I had to take a trip down to Mountain View, pick up some mower stuff, and I got home and I thought, I was out until after midnight on Tuesday. No, I'm not doing it.
Can't handle the
I
spatula.
was
Can't
out.
handle the spatula life anymore.
Yeah, Tuesday night it was after midnight when I got in. Wednesday night it was after 10:30 when I got in. Last night I just thought, no, I'm not doing it. So I chilled out, made
Good.
myself a ham sandwich,
There you go.
and sat in my chair. Got a phone call from Scooter, said, "You eat yet?" And I said, "Yeah, but that's never stopped me before." What you got? He brought me down some ribs. Was pretty dang tasty.
Good.
And,
Good. See?
yeah.
That's what friends are for.
Big plans for the Memorial Weekend.
Showings and things like that. Business.
Listing, showings,
Business. Yeah.
showing
Yeah.
listings.
Busy.
I was about to say,
Busy.
it's probably a big weekend for people coming down.
Yeah. Yeah. There's people coming down. Linda's phone was going like nuts yesterday. It's like, okay, we can do it. So
That's why
Everybody
you-
else is thinking vacation. He's thinking
That's
it's
why
worked
you
out
have.
Well,
That's why it's called the Z Team. So
That's
you
right.
have a whole team of people
That's exactly
working with
right.
one common goal.
yep. And
What is the reason for the team concept?
well, we started it. Just the concept of the team was me and Linda. I mean, we did that for a number of years, and it worked very well for us. And I was always kind of never fully understood. We were counted as like one unit. So we started putting everything into her name so that the credit would be, it was easier to build stuff up within the company. And I never did all that much anyway, but it was just the idea. And we did that for a long time, and we were very successful with Century 21, and it just worked. You know, we were able to do different things. I was more the front of the house, as she calls it, and she was the back of the house, making sure all the scheduling was done, that all the paperwork was done, all the follow-ups were done for everybody, all the minutia she takes care of. That's why I say don't bother calling me, because she knows where we're supposed to be when anyway. And Reese Tubbs was getting hit real hard by agents who would take listings down in Calico and down in that area down there, and then somebody had called the agent and say, well, I want to see your listing. You know, well, I don't want to drive all the way down there for one showing. And so then they were calling Reese saying, hey, Reese, could you show my house? Could you show my house? So Reese, being the good guy that he is, he was doing it. And him and Linda were talking one day in the office, and his technical skills weren't as good as hers. And she said, well, how about this? Why don't you come and work with us? We'll put you on. You won't have to show houses for anybody else ever again. Well, all the business that we get, because at the time the radio station had real good coverage down in that area, and I'd get calls all the time from people. We set them up with him, and it worked out great. So then in 2017, I was Realtor of the Year, and we kind of started to take the concept being Sean Womack's son, Jordan, was getting out of high school. He was getting his, getting out of high school and getting ready to, there was hours that he needed. So he wanted to do real estate. So we hooked up with him, and I asked him right away, I said, are you doing this just for the hours, or do you really want to learn, you know? He's like, oh no, my grandma was, and okay, great. Got him started, and took him on listings, took him on all of the things that needed to get done. I'll take him to presentations of contract presentations, how to measure, just all the things that you just drive people around in a fancy car and collect a big fat check. Well, all the stuff that gets all that done, and we took him under our wing and taught him all of it. And he was good at it. He's got a very personable young man. I thought that he had a good shot at it. And he was with us for some time, and and women get involved, those girlfriends. And that was that. He moved to Fayetteville, where she was going to school, and but he worked there for a while too. In fact, he was doing a radio show. There was a sports show that he got himself onto on Monday mornings, and I don't know what he called it, but it was basically the stuff that, because I would take him to the radio with me, and we've had others that we've taken on, and just I wanted to be able to have good quality realtors. There's a lot of people that go to school and don't really know the ins and outs. School teaches you how to pass the test. There's a lot of other things you need to learn, and a lot of times people will get their license and they'll go to some of the other brokerages and they'll walk in the door. Can I work here? Yeah, you can work here. There's a desk. Here's a phone book. Call people. Find people who want to sell houses. Not what we wanted to do. We wanted people to succeed. We wanted them to know, is this really what I want to do? Because there's a big expense in that. You have to have enough money. You got to have 6 months worth of living expenses to get going. Because even if you walk in the door within a short period of time and you get something, you get a listing, you get somebody, it still takes another 30, 60 days for it to close, for you to have any income coming in from that. And those are the kind of things that people don't really realize when they're getting started. And that was what we wanted. We wanted success, people that were successful and were able to move on.
The process of listing and selling a house has changed over the time period that you've been
Oh,
in.
yeah, sure.
There's way more paperwork. It used to be a one sheet contract, boom, done, put a sign in, let's go.
I don't know about those, but even in the years we've been doing it, they've added about 5 pages in the time we've been doing it.
Well, when I had my license back in '85, it was a one sheet.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
And it's
And
simple.
the sales contracts were the same way, right?
Yeah. And the offer and acceptance was the same way. 2 or 3 signatures, you're done.
Yep.
Boom. Broker signs off on it. You wait for closing.
Let's go.
Those days are over.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I mean, people expect a lot more on the listing side. They expect good pictures. They expect you to be able to get their house out in front of a lot of people, because you don't know where your buyer is going to come from. You didn't have the internet then. You had the books and stuff that you would go and get sheets for, just a totally different deal. Now with the internet, you have to have good skills to be able to get that information out to people, to be able to have people sitting at home, doing this with the tablets, with the computers, and looking for houses. And that's how we get people that are coming down. I want to see this, this, and this. They know because they've been searching. I spoke to a guy the other day at lunch. And I'm sitting there, we're talking, well, we've been on one of the Trulia Zillow, whatever one it was. And there's some houses that we were thinking we may want to see. And I said, do yourself a favor. I said, get off of them, go to Realtor, and go to Retired Arkansas, someplace where you can get live information. I says, Trulia, Zillow, they have houses that have been sold for a week that are still on there. And then people will call and say, I want to see this house. And so we'll look it up. I'll say, it's under contract. No, it's not. Yeah, really, it is. I'd love to show you the house. It's under contract. And they don't, because they don't care. They're clickbait. That's how they get paid. That's how they make that money that they make. So it's people don't realize that. And you try to explain it to them, but it's advertising.
Let's go back to your Z team for a moment. Who are the members of the Z team?
Well, Linda and I, and now my son Jason, Sam McMaster, as I mentioned, the legendary Reese Tubbs, and Darlene Clark Smith. And it's, we've settled in, and I think that for the long haul, we're going to continue the way we're going.
In what areas of Baxter, Marion County do you serve?
Well, and we can serve, but that's the one good thing. I mean, Darlene's a Marion County girl. She was born and raised in Cotter, but lived in Marion County, went to school in Marion County all of her life. So she knows that very well. I mentioned Reese and being able to carry those southern counties in that southern area down there. His father was a realtor. He was born and raised there. He knows I'd get a call from somebody saying, yeah, well, I live down the street from the old Smith property, and it's here and there. And dude, I don't know where the new Smith property is, let alone where the old one was. I said, but I got a guy. And I would call Reese and say, hey, Reese, give this guy a call and see what you can do. And he'd call me back 20 minutes later saying, oh, yeah, his cousin and my brother-in-law, they used to blah, blah, blah. And because that's the way it is down there.
Right.
It's a smaller community. So that's worked very well. We can help people. Linda and Darlene are both licensed in Missouri, and they can help you with anything. We try to stay in the southern Missouri. We don't like to go to places that we really don't know. We'll do referrals. We'll find good quality agents and do referrals and help to be able to serve the clients. But that's what we try to do. Somebody wants to see something in St. Louis, well, I got a guy. We'll find a guy.
It's always good to have a guy.
It's always good. And sometimes it's a girl. You never know. And generally it is a girl. It's funny how that works out. But yeah.
Right. How far into Missouri will you go?
I don't know, because I'm not licensed in Missouri, so I don't have nothing to do with that. Linda knows. Darlene knows.
We're talking
probably within the sound of my voice. If you can
County.
see us, yeah. I mean, if you can see us, we're probably able to service you up there.
Right. Let's go ahead and take a look at your numbers.
This week in real estate, there were 51 new listings came on the market, 3 commercial properties, 14 parcels of land, 34 homes came on the market. They range in price from $39,000 to $575,000. There's 2 of them taking backups. There were 35 sales, 1 commercial property, 9 parcels of land, 25 homes sold. They range in price from $24,000 to $1.6 million. There were $2 million houses and like $1.5 million houses. So $3 million of volume sold this week were $1 million houses. And so I looked. Last year there was $1 million house sold. This year there's been 5.
Wow.
So for as goofy as the economy is, and especially for the average guy, I was kind of stunned because I was trying to figure out how could the average sale prices be so high? And that's what it is. I mean, the average sale price of the week is $313, but like I said, we had big houses in there with 135 days on market. Total is 7.8 million closed this week. 9 properties expired. There's 22 residential price changes, and there's 36 pendings waiting to close. But when you go to the year to date, this year there's been 375 homes that sold for $91 million. The average sale price this year is $243 with 96 days on market, whereas last year there had been 368 homes that sold, so pretty close there, for $80 million, with an average sale price of $218. So the difference in that $218 and the $243, like I say, you had 5 over $1 million sales, and there were a number in the 8s and 9s and 7s that sold this year too. So people coming from other places, desperately trying to get out of where they are, and they sold their house and they did better there because that's the way most markets are. Mm-hmm. We don't have these big waves that come through. We just cruise along. You can do a lot better here, and it's a much better place to be. And people are realizing that, and they're not afraid to abandon ship where they're at and say, that's enough. We're leaving and we're coming, we're going someplace else. And we're a popular area. We got the rivers, 3 rivers, 2 lakes, the hills. We don't have real mountains like some of the people are used to. But it's when you talk to people from Colorado, it has the same effect as you're looking out. Our hills look like mountains. There's been snow on there, thank God, but they have that feeling for it, and we don't have taxes on the wells, the water coming out of your wells, and we have water that you can just go and use. You can take a boat and go out on the river, go out on the lakes. Get we have great quality of life, and people. They try to do what business they can here, and if it's something they can't get here, that internet thing is starting to catch on. Yeah. People are starting to learn how to use it and realize that you can get darn near most anything you want.
Gas may be a little more expensive than it's been years past, but you can still put a couple gallons of gas in your car, drive an hour and a half, and get anything you want.
Oh, yeah. And we were down in Little Rock, and gas prices down, it was like like little waves of how we were like at 319 when I left. As you got a little bit farther south, it got down into the high twos, and then it got back up into 319 again, and then it got back into the low twos. So as you went different counties, I guess, and the taxes, and because it can't be transportation because they're all on the same highway. All that gas is coming up the same road. So, but it's nothing compared to what they're paying in other places. When you go to Illinois, when you go to California, a lot of the western states, gas is very expensive. And all the other fees, the cell phone fees and all these little insidious little things that are tacked on there that you really don't see that add to your day-to-day expenses makes a big difference. Big difference.
Let's talk a little more about your team.
Yeah.
You've got all the team members have gone through the buyers.
Yes, everybody's a certified buyer's representative. We had when these lawsuits were starting, when the news of the lawsuits were starting to come out, I right away it was like everybody's going to school for this, and they were able to take it online. That worked out really well for everybody. I took it here live. We had a teacher came in, and I went to that class. I do better that way. I don't, probably an age thing in as far as learning and stuff. But it was just, I think that being in the classroom is much more conducive to learning because Scooter thinks of something that I didn't think of, and he'll ask that question. I'll go, dope. Why didn't you think of that? I didn't know that that's how that went. Those are the kind of things that you get in a classroom setting that you don't get on looking at your computer and trying to on the Zoom. Because I think Jason said the class that he took, there were like 7,000 people in there. Well, there was no asking questions or anything else in there.
Sam carries another designation to help veterans.
Sam is a military relocation professional. Him and I went down for a 2-day class down in Little Rock a couple years ago, and he's done a great job with it because when his military service was a little different from mine, and he was a recruiter. He was involved more in the day-to-day functioning of the military. He was involved with NATO in Europe and things like that. I was in the middle of nowhere walking through wet rice paddies or climbing up hills that weren't quite mountains but sure felt like it at the time with all that crap on your back. So obviously a veteran, but it's a different type of thing. And Sam was real good, with dealing with people and with having the younger daughter, having the kids being younger. He's a little more in tune with some of the younger kids. They're all kids. Some of the younger kids. They're all
How do they
kids.
get you?
Call my honey. She's at 870-405-0793. Check out the website, retiredtoarkansas.net. You can see the cameras and all the other things that we've got going on. But give my honey a call, 870-405-0793.
There you go. That's been This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora. 870-405-0793 is the number. retiredtoarkansas.net is the website. We'll be back in just a moment with some Friday sports. You're watching The Morning Show on XL7 TV.